Architecture starts as an idea. It could be a few sketches, a few scribbles on paper, a few gestures. And we work through these ideas to materialize them with depth, with understanding, with context. But today, something like that, actually, this image itself is done in a few seconds from the sketch. So we're really facing a bit of a disruption in the design realm. I could think about what to be inspired by, for example, a pine cone I find on the streets, and I can prompt my way into creating, for example, a residential proposal somewhere in the world. It's quite easy to rethink about how we can formulate ideas, how we can restructure the whole ideation process in creating spaces and forms. Crumbling pieces of paper, for me, is something that is quite of an exploration, and famous architects like Frank Gehry has done so as well. So I prompted Frank Gehry on top, and you can see the sort of morphological features that is quite predominant in his sort of language and design. And just for comparison, I did the same with Zaha Hadid, those of you that know, as well as Daniel Libeskind. Each form-driven architects that has their own distinctive style is visually apparent in the results. And of course, we can realize that very quickly into an urban context and see where it goes. So it's about how we play. And those of you know, Zaha Hadid Architects is a big, very well-known company, and I worked there for a few years. And that is where I started to experiment with AI as well. During the time working there, a lot of people were prompting how an architect like Zaha Hadid would design with her beautiful fluid forms and features that exists. So for me, when I started, just by prompting something like a villa designed by Zaha Hadid, these were actually the results. It's not exactly what I was looking for. So instead of just accepting what the AI or diffusion AI results give you, I began constructing a methodology to curate the process, to select results, to prompt craft or prompt engineer, as some of you will call it. And that became a visual design process for me as well. You start with a huge plethora of ideas, and from there, you distill. It's an act, a very human act of curating. That is where human artistry, I believe, is reinstilled in this process. As you refine your idea, you continue to sort of drive AI towards the direction that you already preconceived in your mind. And so it become a very intentional endeavor of using AI in the creative process. From there on, I've explored tons of different ideas. A lot of the organic geometry is what we specialize in the office. So obviously that's one of my first directions. Okay. So at some point I wanted to materialize it. I designed some columns and used more of a contemporary language to design them with AI, and then rationalized it into a 3D modeling process. And I sent the model to a collaborator, stonemason by the name of Till, who took these beautiful stones in Dresden and carved them in real life, following the drawings that I've made. And so this is really an example of how we flip the script. Instead of human ideation followed by machine fabrication, which is the typical industrial revolution paradigm, now we can think about how AI is in the ideation process followed by human in the production process, perhaps. So since then, I've started my company, Stuart Fu, here in London, actually about 20-minute walk from here. And what we've done is assemble a team to tackle real-life challenges. One of our first projects that we announced is on a beautiful site called Lake Bled in Slovenia, the most protected heritage site. And from there, there's plots of land where It was the last left to develop. And our client came to us, wanted to mix contemporary architecture with heritage elements to respect the vernacular aspects of the sites. So, without going into detail, a process where both AI and human were involved, we took, we created a database of existing architecture from around the sites, many of which are heritage protected and representative of the local culture. We go through a process of using diffusion in order to explore ideas alongside the heritage database and contemporary prompting as well. And of course, just with a simple sketch of an idea that we have, we can convert that quickly to AI to get materiality. And that eventually leads to us constructing the 3D model and the final rendering. And as a result, it's a completely intentional process where we really create final results. And here you can see everything is completely done through AI rendering. And of course, we use ChatGPT as part of the process to guide us throughout the entire creative process and the design to construction process. And AI is starting to really seep into everything we do. It's become an integral process, both from client conversations to architects to local consultants, engineers. And so here's a video that we've created at the end of concept phase. Everything here is completely generated through artificial intelligence, but through our creative design process. And of course, we also work with optimization algorithms driven by AI in order to enhance results. And of course, we explore rapidly different ideas very quickly through AI. And so we're really able to explore the depth of what's possible very quickly. And as a result, we get something that is contextual to the site, subtle without being too pronounced, but at the same time, when you're inside the space, you feel the sort of awe-inspiring moments and heights. And AI allowed us to do all of that. I would say that particular video, this whole design process would take usually months and months, but we can cut it down to even a month or within a month if we were able to, get every technical parameters accurate. And so it changes a lot for us. The whole process going from ideation to optimization and BIM modeling process to documentation and perhaps automated construction processes. I think AI can contribute in so many ways. For example, we also develop tools on the side, like working with NVIDIA. We've developed this prototype where you can use on your phone or any app, and it will create sort of retexturing filter with anything that you model, anything that you sketch in real time. And you just have to prompt the words, what you like to see instead. And of course, we explore also different devices. So VR devices such as Apple Vision Pro, we incorporated artificial intelligence, diffusion modeling as a process as part of the design. So now what we can get is perhaps at the touch of your fingertips, you are able to more rapidly explore ideas. And the ideas also evolve through text and prompting. So you are actually, designing through descriptions. And that's where it also gets more fun. Architecture becomes playful. One of our staff, our senior designer, he's actually modeling in the VR space in real time, getting a render, and then we get a result very rapidly. So you feel the space, you feel the three-dimensionality, and that's what changes for us in architecture. And finally, large language models like ChatGPT, we develop tools, subset of tools, where we, for example, use urban design, describing how you want the urban design layout to look, and where's the density, what's the percentages. We're trying to bring large language model into the technical side of design. We want it to take over all the data. And of course, we also want it to have a way to code for us, for example, which is another side of architecture. And all of these things are new possibilities for us very recently, how we optimize everything. So, really, at the end of the day, I just want you guys to think about what are the possibilities for us. We have new design tools, we have faster delivery, perhaps going to be lower costs. We're going to be doing more projects in a smaller team. And you can just think about how the entire industry will change from here on. So, lastly, I would just like to say that we're really just at the beginning of how AI is seeping into the design world. Our entire AEC profession is going through this rapid shift, and we just want to be part of it. And everyone should look out where all of us are going to evolve in the next decade or so. Thank you.